leading the revolution of talk radio. Lynn Cullen.
Well, hello and welcome back to the penultimate hour of the Lynn Cullen Show and its current manifestation. This is the last show I'm doing for WPTT, which ceases to exist, I guess, when I leave. And if I had plans for this show today, we'd blown them up because, Delano walks in the last hour. I'm not alone again. We've got Pittsburgh City Councilman Bruce Krause has come in. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
What are you doing here?
I horned my way into your last show. I couldn't help it. I really couldn't. I'm such an avid and loyal listener for, the better part, I guess, of about 20 years now.
Oh, God almighty. When he was a mere babe.
I turned 54 this year.
Did you? Oh, you're
the
an
same
old
generation.
guy, too. Yeah.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
That's where we connect philosophically so well. We did that whole 60s things together. Yeah.
Well, I don't remember for some reason.
Oh, I remember very well.
So, he's got this. You've got. What have you done?
We've been in office 7 months now. It isn't silly. It isn't, because you are a treasure to the city of Pittsburgh for so many reasons and to so many people. And it isn't silly. We've been in office 7 months now. January 7th we came in, and I have gone to pick up the phone 100 times to call in and say, I got to go in and do the Lynn Cullen Show. And then when I read that you weren't going to be here anymore, I figured, oh, my God, how am I going to get in there to do her show?
You had to go to these lengths.
So I went to these lengths, and we wrote a proclamation so I could invite myself into your show and do your show. And that's how I'm here.
Who writes those things?
Actually, my staff member, Missy Bielik, wrote this, but in concert with a very good friend of yours. We share a friend that, we share a couple friends, but we share a friend I didn't realize that we shared, and that's Katie Letterman. Of your three Katies.
You're kidding.
Yes. Her mother works
Lynette.
Lynette for Council President Doug Shields.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
And so Lynette and I have sort of bonded.
My three Katies. See, there's another thing that happened because of this show. The three Katies.
I remember that well.
Do you know they're old now?
Yeah, so are we. I mean, we got up there.
They were little kids.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she was telling me about her experience, and anyway, we got to talking, and so Lynette helped to write this, as well as Missy Bielik in my office. Do we have to read it? Absolutely, we must. Now, if I stand here to do this, you're not going to get me on the mic.
Yes, we'll get you on the mic. We'll follow the mic.
Can you?
Wait, because Lisa Curtis is still here with the camera, so they want it here. If you go over here,
okay.
Will that work? Yeah. And the mic will pick you up? You'll have a booming voice. There you go. And
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Are we good?
It's in a beautiful blue binder with the city seal on it. City seal of the city council seals. And
Sally might have had a little play in this.
Did we get?
Yeah. I think we might have called her to find out. We know everything about you now.
Oh, good God.
Everything
okay,
that isn't already known.
All right, God
Here
help
we
us.
go.
Here we go.
Okay.
Whereas.
They always begin with whereas.
Yeah, whereas.
Whereas the residents of the city of Pittsburgh have heard the distinctive voice of Lynn Cullen on the airways for over 25 years. And whereas Lynn Cullen, a native of Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah, and the mother of a teenage son, Sam.
Yes.
I remember when you adopted Sam. Began by reporting for WTAE-TV from 1981 to 1992, where she earned many awards, including a 1991 Emmy Award, 4 Golden Quills for journalistic excellence from the Pittsburgh Press Club, and 3 Pennsylvania Associated Press Broadcast Awards for feature reporting. We know it all. I need a glass of water.
That's okay. And a partridge in a pear tree.
And whereas, during that time, she also received the Printer Devils Award from Women in Communications for her ability to see humor in the world and to puncture the pompous among us, and had been named one of Pittsburgh's most influential power brokers by the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette.
I'm so influential I can't even keep a job in this town. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
That's okay. And is listed in the Who's Who of American Women and Who's Who in American Media.
And Who's Who in unemployed talk show hosts.
Well, we all run that risk. I'm only here 4 years, too, and
that's
3.5.
That's true.
And I could be out. Where are we? Whereas Ms. Cullen hosted a radio talk show on, can I use the call letters? I'm sure.
Sure.
WPTT Radio. Doug was real adamant about that.
What, that you could or couldn't?
Couldn't.
Well, the thing is, WTA Radio doesn't even exist anymore. Doug and I have a way of absolutely destroying every station we come on. Because WTA Radio doesn't exist anymore. WPTT Radio will not exist anymore. I don't know. We got a touch about us. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's okay. Where am I?
WTA.
Okay. And whereas Ms. Cullen hosted a radio talk show on WTAE Radio from 1987 to 1997, twice named Best Talk Show Host. We're bringing back memories, huh?
Yeah.
In Pittsburgh by the readers of both Pittsburgh Magazine and In Pittsburgh News Weekly.
Which is also dead.
Oh, boy. And whereas she has been the host of the Lynn Cullen Show on AM News Talk 1360 for 10 years and has raised the bar for liberal talk radio and set the standard for excellence in political and social discourse. And whereas Lynn Cullen has been an important member of the larger community, having served as the president of the Jewish Chronicle, and through her weekly segment with Animal Friends, has brought awareness to the plight of stray and abandoned animals in our region, with her listeners volunteering their time and bringing in strays to be adopted and neutered and adopting pets of their own. Here's the good part.
Now, therefore. That's what they always say. Here, have it. My gosh, here.
I'm choking up.
I know, he is. City government is grinding to a halt.
Well, I'm here. We're on recess.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, we are. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
So I came on my day off.
I'm about to go on recess myself.
So now, therefore, be it resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby congratulate Lynn Cullen for 10 outstanding years of broadcasting at WPTT and over 25 memorable years of service to the Pittsburgh media community in radio and television. And be it further resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby proclaim Friday, August 29, 2008, as Lynn Cullen Day in the City of Pittsburgh.
Oh, geez. It's Lynn
There you
Cullen
go.
Day.
There you go, McGrath.
Oh, you're a dear.
My
Thank
pleasure.
you, Bruce.
My pleasure.
You didn't know it was Lynn Cullen Day, did you?
Did you ever have a Lynn Cullen Day?
Maybe the last time they threw me out of the station, I had a Lynn Cullen Day. I don't know. I think I did.
It's your day.
Thank you.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
Gee whiz. Well, you know, just don't say what does they say, God closes a door, he opens a window or something. The next person who says that to me, I'm going to stab.
Let's get that on camera.
Right. Or you'll land on your feet.
You won't come up, I'm
Something
certain
will,
of it.
you think?
Absolutely.
Maybe I'll run for city council.
You could. Doug Shields is your...
No, Doug is not.
Is Bill Peduto?
Bill Peduto.
You're in Peduto. You're right on the line somewhere.
Yeah, I'm in Peduto's district.
Yeah, and
what do you
he's
think?
in Norway right now.
He's an odd duck.
Oh, he's the best. He is.
He's an odd duck. How did his month go? I had intended to interview him this week because he's doing a month of no car.
Oh, yes.
Do you know how he did?
He bum rides from everybody. We all rode him around.
Did you?
And he was late for everything because he kept missing the bus and he lost his bus pass.
So I bet he's glad to be back in a car then.
Yeah, he is.
Even if he's in Norway.
Yeah. He's a good egg.
Well, I can't thank you enough.
It was my pleasure.
So sweet, and to come in on your, recess.
Like I said, I couldn't let your last show go without ever being able to say that I once did a Lynn Cullen show.
Bruce Krause not only once did the Lynn Cullen show, but did the last Lynn Cullen show of this vintage.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever.
Yeah,
We'll
right, this tenure.
We'll think of something.
I'm certain.
You think?
Yeah, absolutely.
We might have to buy our own station.
I wonder if the city's hiring.
You know what? I don't. They shouldn't be. I'll tell you that right now.
Hey, they
How
just
are
hired
things
me.
with it? The city is.
I absolutely love it. It is the best job of my life.
Really?
It took me 2 elections in 3 years to get here, and it was quite brutal. You know, I didn't know what I didn't know when I ran for office. You know, because I don't come from a political background. I come from a business background and a community background, so I wasn't aware of what I was up against when I decided to run. But we made it. We got there, and good things are happening.
You think you can make a difference?
Absolutely.
Really?
I wouldn't be there if I didn't. Do you think you can make a difference sitting here? You know, you got a long road to hoe, but you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So
it's small steps.
Okay.
My new favorite saying is "Eat an elephant one bite at a time."
Yummy.
Yeah, and when God closes a door, he opens
I'm all right. You're out of here. That's it. He's gone.
Thank you, dear.
He's gone.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. You
It was
are
my
a
pleasure.
dear, and you didn't have to do this just to get in the door. You could, you could have come anyway. And if I land someplace else, we'll have you on.
I'd love it.
No, we really will, and we'll get into like some meaty stuff.
There's so much to talk about.
I know there is
so much.
So let me get let me take a break, and then we'll come back to you guys, and you can get a word in edgewise too if you want. 412-333-1360. It's Lynn Cullen Day in Pittsburgh, PA. Alrighty, hi there, and welcome back. I feel like I'm sort of living in this a dream today. It just seems very odd. It doesn't, this doesn't feel normal. And Curtis Reeves, a videographer who's been shooting the first hour of the show for how many years have we been doing that? 3 years. He's breaking down the lights and. Curtis, I'm gonna miss you. He's been the greatest guy to have in here in the first hour. And I'll really miss you. Okay, wait. I got one more hug I got to do. I love you.
Love you too. Take care of yourself.
Oh, you smell good. Curtis. And well, he's an amazing artist. You want Curtis to talk? Curtis, do you want to say a few words?
Sure.
Here, there. Your mic's on. You're on. Your mic's on.
Well, for me, it's just been a pleasure. I've grown so much from this experience, and I know so much more about politics.
Really? Just from listening to the show?
Listening to the show, being here every day, and I'm going to surely share the issue.
Oh.
I look forward every day.
You have been such a delight to have in here. I mean, we became friends. We didn't know each other from Adam. And, bless you.
Thank you.
Curtis is somebody who brings such care to your work, and your attitude about your work and about life in general has been such. You talk about learning from me. I have learned so much from you in that regard. You're wise beyond your years.
Well,
you're a wise old soul in a young man's body.
Thank you for that. And like I said, it's a pleasure. And I know this is not, the end. It's just the beginning.
You just watch those doors and windows. You got real close there.
I know.
You got real close to doors and windows.
Yeah.
I love you.
Love you.
Curtis is a new father. Well, he's already had two, but he's a new dad.
Got a new baby.
He's got He's operating on a few hours sleep for the last week or so.
Yeah, great experience, and just the whole everything that comes with that, A
lot of joy there.
Yes, it is.
And I wish you all the best, and we will definitely be together.
That's
yes,
right.
we got.
All right.
Okay, love you.
Thank you.
Hard. I don't like goodbyes. This is, well. Was au revoirs, chows. We're not saying goodbye. We're just meeting up at a later date in another location, but which is yet to be determined. That's all, and that's the way we're looking at it. And are people there on the phone, or is that just a mirage? They're all there, you think? Okay. I'm taking. And by the way, I'm putting the call out again. We're going to try to keep in touch. So email me your email at cullenshow@yahoo. Cullenshow@yahoo. I'm a little confused though, Matt, because there was over 1,700 on here before, and now it's going down. Are things disappearing on there?
No, I'm grabbing the addresses.
And when you grab them, they disappear from that? They're showing up in the...
I'm moving them. You'll see another folder in your email thing called Goodbyes. I moved there.
Okay, so that's why this number's going down?
Yeah, that way I know I have that address, and I'm not going back and recycling through the same one for the address book. But
thank you.
We're right now over 200, and I barely scratched the surface on this list.
Wow. Guys, thank you so much. I have to tell you how gratifying the support is and love I'm feeling and all of that. That's not my earring. You found an earring, Curtis, on your way out.
Maybe it was one of the ladies from yesterday.
Well, yeah, it ain't mine. Hey, I'll go to the phone. I feel very sort of discombobulated. You'll have to forgive me. Jared at CMU. Hi.
Hey, Lynn.
Hi.
Happy Lynn Cullen Day. I love that. That's very appropriate.
Yeah.
I was thinking as you were listening to some of the other people, it's like I've been you since the Rodney King thing back in the early 90s.
Wow.
And it's just like, I'll be waiting with bated breath for your reincarnation somewhere else.
Well, I certainly hope you don't have to hold your breath too long.
Nope.
I hope not.
But, I just, the political, my whole political conversation will not be the same without your kind of being my touchstone for certain days of the week. It is, I just think that you give life to a lot of people's thoughts and feelings in a way that is very great.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And thank you for everything over the years, because I know you've sent me stuff that has been helpful, and your calls have always been good, if sparse, and that's actually good.
Yeah, well, I try to, I only call if I have something to say. And what I was going to say today, in response to the last half hour, or before the hour, with the conversation about Pennsylvania, I've been following this election really closely, especially the way in which Barack Obama and his team have been managing themselves. And it seems to me, and I get this in so many different ways, that there is nothing that has come up so far that they haven't been prepared for.
Well, I hope you're right. I mean, they certainly have run thus far an extraordinary campaign. And
you look at it, I don't know if you saw all the second guessing that was going on concerning last night's event.
No, I didn't.
It was everywhere. It's like, he's got the Temple of Obama going with the set design. It's going to rain. It's going to, is he going to be able to, his presence going to be big enough for that stadium? On and on and on. People second guessing,
Well, that's their jobs. They've got to have something to babble about. So I'm so overdosed on the babble, on the CNN and the MSNBC, so that I was watching C-SPAN for the last 2 nights. I just tuned them out completely, and took the experience whole, and allowed myself my own reactions. And it's such a better experience, and I recommend it to everybody.
Yep. But in terms of his campaign, what I'd say is, it's like they not only do they fully know about the racist element in Pennsylvania and in other places, their plan is they've already compensated for it.
I hope you're right. I hope you're right. I hope you're right. And I hope it's possible to compensate. I've been saying that this election will in some respects be a head count on just how deep this racism problem goes in America. I'm not saying that if you vote for John McCain, you're a racist. I'm not saying that, but I am. If you're a Democrat who has always voted for Democrats and now find this Democrat somebody you cannot vote for, I am going to suggest you're a racist. Hey, gotta run.
Okay, doke.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Because there's no other good reason, none at all, that you would not make sure that the Democrats get control of the White House. Anyone who would in any way enable, abet, or aid the Republicans to have 4 more years to run this country right into the ground. Anyone who would be party to that. Well, I can't finish the sentence in a ladylike manner, and so I guess I'll not bother. We'll go to Ed in the Hill. Hi, Ed.
Yes. Sorry to see you go. I hope
Thank
to
you.
see you come again.
Thank you.
Right. You and John McCain happen to have something in common here.
Uh-oh.
I did a little research on him. This date, this is your last day on the job, and this is his first day on Earth. This is his 72nd birthday.
Oh, it's his 72nd birthday.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, these white guys who are going to vote for him because they can't vote for a black man, I guess they do have a lot in common with him. For example, when he was there, he attended the Episcopal High School, a private preparatory boarding school in Alexandria, Virginia. So I'm sure a lot of these white guys are going to vote for him. Went to private boarding school.
Oh, I'm sure they went and have 8 homes.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm sure they can identify with him quite a bit.
It's funny you mentioned those 8 or 9 homes or whatever it is. Now I know where Dick Cheney was hiding out. He's hiding out in one of those 8 or 9 homes that this guy had. And by the way, another thing John McCain has in common with these guys, his net worth. John McCain's net worth is $40.4 million. And certainly to vote for him, I'm sure they're all in that class.
That's true. I'm sure they can completely identify with him. Ed, good points all. Thank you so much.
Thank you and good luck.
Thank you. Bye. Bye. Tell you what, guys, let me get my mid-break in here and then come right back to the phones. 412-333-1360. We got left. Who's counting? I am. I'm Lynn Cullen along with Matt Pritt, and this is AM News Talk 1360.
So I think you're going to come back somewhere.
You
I don't
think?
know. I don't understand the market and all that kind of stuff, but there has
either.
to be a place for your voice and your following. And I've watched this following grow. Listen to it grow, I guess, over the years. It's an amazing thing, the hold that you have and the influence you had. I just hope you decide never to run against me, because if you do, I'm dead. The way as popular as you are.
I could parlay it, couldn't I? I could.
You announce your candidacy tomorrow, and I'm finished.
And I'm in your district.
I know, that's what worries me.
Don't worry.
I
could not stand doing what you do.
You would be great at this.
No, I wouldn't.
You would really be a good. I mean, your voice and your advocacy and your passion is exactly what's needed in government.
Yeah, but I'm not good at the nuts and bolts, and I don't, and I'm too. I would lose my mind. And I'm not. So you've become a totally political animal.
I really, I've liked it. I've enjoyed it, and I've also enjoyed working. This new government that we have. It's new now. It's 9 years old. But working with a guy like Dan, and I also, if you watch the convention over the last few days, if you watch all the young talent that the Democratic Party has started to develop, a guy like a Mark Warner, who was an entrepreneur and made millions and millions of dollars, former governor of Virginia, and now has decided. The great minds, to me, in this generation want to be. They feel and feel a bond with the ideology that the Democratic Party has had. And I think Clinton was a big, kind of a big leader of that 15 years ago. But guys like Dan Honorado who are moving this county, and I don't want to make political speech. That's not what. But I do like it. I like what we do. Check and make sure that John Delano paid the drink tax. I saw that he brought.
I'm sure he did.
Okay. No, I'm just kidding.
I haven't been following all that.
I know. You don't get involved as much in local politics.
I haven't been doing local, and I'm not sure why. Maybe it's just too close to home.
Maybe it is, and it's probably not as exciting as an Obama, Clinton, or McCain, Bush.
Yeah.
I mean, these are real meaty issues where the local issues are, pick up the garbage, property tax, and they're not as exciting in a controversial way, even though they affect people's lives a lot more than some of the other stuff does.
So, do you think Delano is making me nervous about Obama taking Pennsylvania?
I'm nervous. I am. I don't take it for granted. I mean, I don't. If the Ridge factor plays out, I think John's got a point. That would certainly help put Pennsylvania in play. If Ridge is not on the ticket, I have to believe that this state will. This state is trending bluer and bluer all the time.
Is it?
Not just in Allegheny County, which it is, but also in Philadelphia and the surrounding counties. We've picked up, we now have the House. Rendell won fairly easily. We've picked up more congressional seats. Jason Altmaier winning in areas that we didn't win before. In Mount Lebanon, places, Upper St. Clair. Those kind of suburban communities that were rock solid Republican are now trending Democrat.
We're going to be able to kick Tim Murphy out of the Congress.
I think there's probably a pretty good chance of that. I think there is. I mean, you saw it with Melissa Hart last time, and I think this country has had enough. They really have. Now, is there going to be issues that you raised with Obama, people not being able to be comfortable with them? I hope not. I mean, his story was a great story that he told, and him and his wife, and growing up in blue-collar and working-class communities that just made good of themselves. And you see a Joe Biden, and I think Biden really helps bring Pennsylvania, that connection he has to Scranton, plus the blue-collar, where I'm glad to hear he's marching in the parade on Monday. I heard you're doing it, too.
I've never been able to, because
we have to have you down there. I saw Jack Shea, in fact, the other night after you were on his show, and he said, we're going to get Lynn. I think she's going to come.
Okay, so what time do I have to show up to march?
Well, they start lining up at 9 o'clock, but the parade starts at 10.
At 10.
So you can march with County Council if you want. We'll put you right up front, and I'm sure any of the unions would be happy to have you. You've been such a good voice of the working people over these years, so we're glad to have you down.
I'll be there. I'm going to march in the parade. Okay, Rich, what a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Congratulations on all your years, and thank you for all you've done, and you're not done yet. We need you back.
I can't be done
You
yet.
can't be done. We need your voice back. There's more work to be done.
I need a job, for God's sake.
Notwithstanding all that, you got to pay your bills, right?
I need a job. I do. Thank you. Let me go to a break, and we'll be back. I'm Lynn Cullen. Lame duck. It's AM News. What? It's AM News Talk 1360. Well, okay, so McCain has picked the governor of Alaska, one Sarah Palin, as his vice presidential choice. She's an attractive young woman. I would say that this is a very cynical pick. This is, you talk about something where they're just trying to play the angles. You got a president here, would-be president, John McCain, who is having a birthday today, 72 years old, the overrun for a first term as president of the United States. And so the odds, also with his cancer, that he might not be able to serve 4 years of a term if he were elected, means that a woman who has been the governor of this tiny, geographically huge, but bizarre, strange state of Alaska. And by the way, the Republican Party in Alaska, corrupt as all hell. I think she's about the only Republican politician in Alaska who's not under indictment at the moment. But the cynicism of just assuming that women will vote for him because he's got a skirt on the ticket? Is she ready to be president of the United States? If they think Barack Obama doesn't have foreign policy expertise, what the heck does Sarah Palin have? I am stunned by this. Stunned. They think that, young people or women are going to vote for him because of her? Did it work when the Democrats put Geraldine Ferraro on the ticket? This to me seems extraordinarily cynical. That's what comes to mind. Unbelievable. McCain. The one thing she'll also do is make him look old. She'll just make him look older. I don't know. Well, we'll get to know her. What do you think, Matt? Aren't you surprised?
It's going to be an odd photo at the Republican convention when McCain gives his final speech, and then she comes out with him and their spouses come out, because she has 5 kids.
That's
so
okay.
there's literally going to be the Palin clan on the stage. and then there's going to be an old John McCain and his wife.
Well, they got kids, too. No, that's okay. What's the difference of that? I mean, the Bidens had a bunch of Obama's had kids.
I don't know if they've had them that... I don't think John McCain has anyone nearly as young as... I mean, if you're...
Well, but I mean, Edwards had kids that young. I mean, it's not unusual to have...
If you're looking for the contrast of how old McCain is...
No, I think she makes him look older.
Yeah,
I do.
And I think when she brings out 5 younger children...
Yeah.
I think her oldest is probably like 20, 21, something like that. Maybe a couple years older, but it's just going to make him look even older than putting those two together.
I don't get this. I'm
she
sorry.
Just had a baby in April, so...
How would you like... What Joe Biden is going to eat her alive during the vice presidential debates. I can't imagine he wouldn't. She must be good. She must have something, or they wouldn't. I mean, she must be articulate and all that kind of stuff. She's got to have something. I mean, they wouldn't pluck her out of nowhere.
Yeah, the few times I've seen her, she's
impressive.
She's herself well.
Right.
She's definitely a harder line conservative than McCain. She's a member of the NRA, an avid hunter and fisher, obviously pro-life, but a lot of the weaknesses that John McCain has as far as not appealing to the hardcore conservative base, she might fill some of those gaps.
But, well... She would never have been the vice presidential choice if she weren't a woman. And what this is affirmative action at its worst. This is how Republicans do affirmative action. Pure tokenism, pure cynicism. Well, maybe we should put a woman on. It doesn't matter if she's capable of being president of the United States, we'll just put her on. This is the kind of tokenism, affirmative action that, exactly what it is. Exactly what it is. All right, I'll go back to the phones. Boy, is this stupid. I'm thrilled. Jay in Garfield, hi, you still there?
Hey, Lynn, how are you?
Hi, fine.
Appreciate all your work and all your time on the air. I actually started listening to talk radio. A good friend of mine would listen. He was a truck driver, actually, and he would listen to all this crazy blow stuff. I couldn't stomach it. Then after 9/11, I started listening just to get people's perspective, because I just never listened to talk radio before that. I was listening to regular radio music, and I caught you, and I said, wow, there's a reasonable voice on talk radio.
And after a long, apparently.
Well, but you'll be on the air somewhere soon. But no, I very much appreciated your perspective, the people you had on, your sense of humor, your background. You're connected to everybody, so it's been really great, and I'm sure you'll be on somewhere soon. But I don't know if you got a chance to hear John Lewis.
Yes, I did last night. I thought he was marvelous.
Well, I didn't hear him. I heard him on NPR, and they interviewed him, and he was talking about...
I heard him give a speech last night.
Well, I missed the speech. I have to YouTube it. But his whole... I'm African American, and my family's very big on us knowing our history. But he just hit it out of the park for me. He said, look, a lot of people died.
Yes.
I'm paraphrasing. For this to be able to even be possible,
This is
and
true.
I think that was lost on me. I mean, that's one of the things that kind of, that kind of went to the back of my head because of all this silly stuff they're talking about. But people died for somebody that's not a white male to have a shot at something like this.
We forget, and it is so true, but in 1965, now I don't know, that might seem like, ancient history to you, but in 1965...
Before I was born.
Okay, well, I have to tell you, in 1965, I was a junior in high school. I was very much paying attention to news, but I was living up there in Wisconsin. There were no African Americans in that city except guys who played for the Packers, and I didn't know that men in this country literally could not even register to vote without risk to their very lives. In my lifetime, not when I was a little kid, but when I was a fully formed human being. If they tried to register, they could lose their jobs, they could lose their lives, and God forbid if they managed to register, if they showed up to vote, my God, they could really be killed. They could be beaten. They could be imprisoned. They could suffer economic retaliation. In 1965 in this country, do you know how many black people were registered to vote in Mississippi?
Absolutely. Yeah.
6% of the population. Right. And this is not ancient history.
It's 40-some years, and it's really, I think what happens is older folks who lived it, who were, the movers and the leaders of that, they're 80, 90 years old, a lot of them late 70s, and they're tired. Some of them are losing their powers of, the mental faculties, things like that. And I don't think they've done a good enough job of telling the story of the Jewish folks that died fighting for this stuff, of the white folks that died, of the black folks that died. Right. I mean, somebody was talking about between 1880 and 1930, 5,000, might have been you, 5,000 folks were lynched in this country. Black folks were lynched and killed. Mm-hmm. And what occurred, how many more don't we know about? How many people died as a result of injuries to all that stuff? And it isn't just black folks. Everybody was there to break through at that time. And I think we're at another, this thing about it being the 40th anniversary of the mark of the, I Have a Dream speech, all that stuff. There's something going on now. And I think there's going to be enough people that can see past this stuff and are more highly evolved and can reach out to those that need a little help. And that, coupled with the fact that what he's doing in the campaign, they know what they're doing. Time and again, they show off. They do a great job, and they get it done. So I think it's going to work out.
Well, I certainly hope you're right, and if you stop and think about it, so since 1965, the progress that has been made is so mind blowing, right. And that last night we watched Barack Obama give that extraordinary speech.
It's remarkable.
It is pretty. We have already, and anytime you see that kind of barrier being broken, anytime you see progress like that being made in America, the Republican Party is nowhere to be found. That's right. It is always the Democrats that moves forward. Always the Democrats.
Progressives, because at the time the Democrats were, going back 40 years, they were the ones that were resisting.
Yeah, but they're all the Republicans now. The Republican Party.
That's what we have to understand.
That's right. That solid Republican base now are all those old racist Democrats.
But if we can, now we have, I think, and we see the same thing. We see people who have every news. If they don't vote for Barack Obama, not even considering him, because I hate to say, like the union member was on earlier, he was talking about, this notion of they're not even considering the dire consequences to them and their families. No. They're more about a black guy
having power, breaking
through and having some power. Right. And that's, and so hopefully I think enough people are getting past that, or are past that we can do this.
We'll find out. We'll find out, Jay.
Find out.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you. Bye. Okay. I hope we meet up again. Here, Peter's in Atlanta. Hi, Peter.
Hey, Lynn. How are you?
I am okay. Thank you.
Lynn, I just had to call because I've been listening to you since 1990 when we moved to Pittsburgh. And we lived there for 12 years before we came down here. And I was so glad to find out I could get you on the Internet. It has really been a saving grace. I listen to you all the time. I sometimes don't work as hard as I should, but I wanted to say one thing about this Palin lady.
Yeah.
I think she's she's ready because it says I was reading on Politico that before being elected governor in 2006, she was the mayor of Wasilla.
Oh, that's big.
Yeah, that has a population of 5,400 people. So.
And not only that, she in 1984 placed second in the Miss Alaska Beauty Pageant, which has Miss Wasilla, and she also won Miss Congeniality. So there you have it.
Well, if that doesn't prepare you to be president of the United States, I don't know what does.
I can't imagine either. So there you have it. God help us. Hey, thank you so much, Peter. I'll try. Send me your email so that I can, get in touch when I land someplace and we can reunite.
Do that.
Thank you.
Definitely. Thanks,
Thank
Lynn.
you so much. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. We're hearing from so many Pittsburghers who now live in Atlanta, Georgia. What's going? Half the population of Atlanta is apparently former Pittsburghers. Jim in Mount Lebanon, are you still there?
Yes, I'm still here, Lynn.
Hi.
I've listened to you for so many years. I've only called in twice, but I had to call and tell you I'm a 50-year-old gay man. I came out in the late 90s, and I've seen, a lot of pain, all of my friends dying in the 1980s. I saw a president who promised us equal opportunity in the military and gave us don't ask, don't tell. I saw in the Bush-Kerry election where they used us as a wedge issue to win the election. And from Shepherd Wellness down to the task force, I just wanted to say thank you for being our champion.
You're more than welcome, and it's been my honor to be a voice for the community.